JK Rowling was highly respected for years, but little by little, that has been changing. So lately, she's had some major missteps that have people second guessing whether or not they should support her. So, should JK Rowling be canceled? JK Rowling is known for, of course, writing the Harry Potter series, and studies have actually shown that fans of the books are more tolerant and accepting, which, speaks volumes about Rowling. And she also donated so much of her money to various charities that she stopped being a billionaire for a moment in time there. Yeah. People also loved her tweets, how relatable she was on Twitter. She got into Twitter fights with former fans and as well as other people, especially in the time of the Trump administration. She has been very vocal about her disdain about Donald Trump. And all of this just led people to loving her more. So what happened? People have grown more disappointed with her, and she's actually now considered to be a problematic favorite. So how did she get there? Well, by having some major missteps and being retroactively progressive with her already published book series. So the main issues seemed to start with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So fans went crazy when Harry Potter and the Cursed Child was first announced. They were ready to go back to the Wizarding World. They were just really, really excited. It is a play, and it should be noted that JK Rowling didn't actually write the play, but she did contribute to the storyline. So once the play was released and fans started reading it, fans started accusing Rowling of queer baiting. So queer baiting is a marketing technique for fiction and entertainment in which creators hint at, but then don't actually depict same-sex romance. And fans thought that there was maybe something a little more going on between the characters of Albus Potter and Scorpius Malfoy, but at the end of the play, it's revealed that this is actually not the case. Now, this is incredibly annoying. It is frustrating, especially for LGBTQ fans of the books, but I don't think this necessarily would have been a deal breaker, because unfortunately it is a common tactic. It's annoying, it's not right, we need to stop doing that, but it is a very common annoying tactic. However, this is not the first time that Rowling has done something like this. So Rowling revealed after all the books were published that Dumbledore is actually a gay man. He was never written as such in the series, and David Yates, the director of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, said that the films wouldn't make it clear that he is gay. And the reasoning behind this choice was that the fans already knew. So the reveal may have excited fans at first, but it can't really be considered good representation if a character isn't going to be explicitly stated or shown as being gay. And just, of course, even after this, JK Rowling just could not let the series go, and more characters started getting the Dumbledore treatment. So in 2014, when a fan asked if there were any Jewish wizards in Hogwarts, she tweeted that Anthony Goldstein was a Jewish wizard. Now, there's no mention of this in the books. Why was it never addressed until after the books were published? She also supported a fan theory that Hermione was black. She called anyone out for being a racist, because they assumed that Hermione was a white character. But J.K. Rowling described her other black characters, such as Blaise Zabini, Dean Thomas, and Kingsley Shacklebolt, as being black. And Hermione was never described as such. So it's not really the fans' fault that they assumed her race as being white. And unfortunately, it is a flaw in our society, but more often than not, we will assume characters are white unless it is otherwise stated. And the problem with all of this is that JK Rowling is retroactively trying to make her series more progressive than it actually is. And praise isn't deserved for adding representation in an effort to be relevant. So fans of color were the first to call out JK Rowling for this. Now, the series isn't perfect, but as JK Rowling continues to expand the universe, there are more and more grievances. Like, fans have even more and more grievances than they would if she had just let the series be what it was. Now, there's no denying that the series is a fantastic series, but it's not a diverse series. There aren't a lot of students of color at Hogwarts, and JK Rowling refuses to admit that she didn't write a diverse series and instead chooses to face her fans' anger as she continues to add diversity after all the books have been published. Now, in 2016, Rowling released A History of Magic in North America on the Pottermore website, and fans were really excited to learn more about magic and how it worked in North America. But that excitement quickly waned as people started reading it because it borrowed heavily from Native American culture. An Irish woman founded the American Wizarding School called Ilvermorny. And in depicting magic in North America, there was a lot of Native American imagery, and it was just obvious that this Native American imagery were just maybe myths and legends that Rowling had read but didn't actually research the meaning behind. So it came off as very disrespectful to the Native American culture, and so fans were upset at her insensitivity, and they accused her of cultural appropriation, and she never responded to all the people who started calling her out for this. And as she continues to expand her universe, people have a harder time calling themselves a fan. And it despite the magic in North America controversy, it didn't really seem like Rowling took that into account or anything when she dropped the Nagini bomb. So it is revealed in The Crimes of Grindelwald that Nagini is actually a human witch who suffers from a disease that keeps her trapped in a snake's body. And it seemed like it was meant to be like cool and a shocking reveal, but fans took major issue with it. You know, the Nagini is played by a woman of color, so one of the few characters of color is reduced to being essentially a slave to the Nazi equivalent in the wizarding world. And among these other issues, the story of Nagini is based off of Indian mythology, but the character of Nagini was played by a Korean woman in the films. Now, one of the more recent controversies that has shaken the Harry Potter fandom comes from Johnny Depp. Despite the fact that he was accused of physical and verbal abuse from his ex-wife Amber Heard, JK Rowling and the rest of the creative team of Fantastic Beasts stood by their casting choice. And this really bothered fans because the ultimate message of Harry Potter, it's a very anti-abuse message. And despite this controversy, Johnny Depp was allowed to stay on board. Even Daniel Radcliffe himself, he played Harry Potter in the movies, was opposed to Depp's casting. Radcliffe brought up the fact that Jamie Waylett, who played Vincent Krabs in the film, was dropped from the final 2 Harry Potter films for growing weed. Lastly, JK Rowling has seemed to prove as time goes on that she's transphobic. So 2 of the books that she published under the pseudonym of Robert Galbraith seem to have transphobic undertones or transphobic problems. In 2018, she liked a tweet that stated that trans women were quote-unquote men in dresses, and her publicist attributed this to being an accident. She accidentally liked that tweet. In June 2019, she had a similar accident when she followed a well-known transphobe on Twitter, and that it was then revealed that she followed at least 12 people on Twitter with similar transphobic views. Now, this was all attributed to her following people that she found interesting or thought-provoking, even if they had different views from hers. However, the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to Rowling's transphobia came from a December 2019 tweet in which she dismisses trans identity and stands by a woman who lost her court case. And this court case involved a significant amount of transphobia. And this is when it seemed like Rowling's transphobic leanings really, really sunk in for her fans. So I thank JK Rowling for giving Harry Potter to the world, but I do think as fans we need to be aware of the people we look up to or used to look up to, whatever the case may be in the situation for each individual person, and just, you know, not hold them up to this pedestal and keep constantly forgiving them. I love Harry Potter, and I believe I believe that as a fan base we can all continue to love Harry Potter, but we need to hold JK Rowling accountable for the things that she says, and if we're not okay with something, we need to let her know that this is not okay, that the things that she is saying is not okay. Now, JK Rowling isn't perfect. None of us are. But I think the best thing that she can do right now in this moment is just take a seat and listen to members of the marginalized community. Because unfortunately, when fans have called her out for, being retroactively progressive or being transphobic or whatever, she has not taken that criticism lightly. She does not learn or grow from these situations. So I think the best that she can do is just take a seat and listen to these marginalized communities and try to grow from there. And I think ultimately that's a great message for all of us. We all need to listen to what marginalized communities are telling us. So that being said, I want to know what your thoughts. Are you canceling JK Rowling? Do you think she deserves to be canceled? I don't know. Just let me know about what you think about this whole thing.